Let's talk about Bitcoin and gold for a second. So I'm going to share my screen here. I'm going to share some trading view fun. So this is BTC versus gold. Very important chart right now. I'm going to extend it back to, let's say, to 2020. The reason why this is an important chart is because when you're long Bitcoin, you're not really 100% sure how much of your price appreciation is just dollar debasement and de-dollarization versus how much is actual crypto adoption. And it's an important distinction because we can sit here and pat ourselves on the back feeling smart about crypto taking over the world when, realistically, maybe if you look back in early 2021, crypto wasn't taking anything over. It was just Joe Biden and company printing trillions of dollars and Bitcoin kind of protecting you, but it was really the dollar going down, not Bitcoin going up. Now, maybe Bitcoin going up on some hype too, and some momentum and some FOMO. But if you take out the hype and the FOMO, if you're denominating Bitcoin in gold, you get a much clearer picture of what Bitcoin's actually doing relative to, like, it's a digital version of gold. You went from 5 or 6 on the chart in 2020 to like post crash 12. Pretty decent, right? It more than doubled in price. This big explosion in the 2021 era was hype, and the real de-dollarization thing, like maybe the dollar depreciated by 50%. That's what Bitcoin kind of tells you on the Bitcoin to gold chart, from going from 6 to 12 or 5 to 12. Where I'm going with this rant is let's start in 2023 when assets had stabilized. The Ukraine war had become a permanent part of the picture. 2023, Jan 2023 onwards represents the paradigm that we're in now in both Bitcoin and gold. And I'll explain what I mean here. Bitcoin, it's in the post-FTX era. We've worked through the concerns of Terra Luna. We've worked through the hype of that 2021 froth. We're like a stable adoption grind higher phase for Bitcoin. Gold is also in a new paradigm. Ever since the Ukraine war broke out in 2022, gold flipped. They used to be a risk off asset that people would buy, and they were panicking about risk assets. And now gold has transitioned to a new steady state where it's basically a diversification hedge, a de-dollarization hedge, something that China will feel comfortable putting big balance sheet into because they don't want to hold as much US denominated securities. Again, we've talked ad nauseum about this because the US stole Russia's dollars as punishment for the aggression in Ukraine. Now, anybody else who's thinking of doing something that the United States might not like, they're going to try to diversify out of dollars into what? Into gold. So gold's a de-dollarization hedge. Bitcoin's in its kind of enlightenment phase. So this is the new trend, right? Both assets have stabilized. This is the paradigm. So let me draw a trend channel on it. If I just mark the lows of this channel here, the Bitcoin to gold chart, and I mark maybe some of the highs, realistically, where we're at now, we haven't even really bounced off of the lows that much. Let me do a regression trend just to extend this line a little forward. Like basically where we're at now is the lows of the channel trading around 32. If it were to go back to the middle of the channel by year end, that kind of looks like 40 on the chart, right? The middle of this trend channel. So BTC to gold should go from 32 to 40. So if I just do the back of the envelope math real quick, 40 divided by 32 times, it's currently trading about $125,000 a token. That gets me to $156,000 a token. If we just revert to the middle of this trend by year end and gold doesn't move, which is a pretty big if. It looks like it's going to keep sending. I think basically just denominating Bitcoin in something other than USD is important to abstract away all of the noise around dollar debasement, rate cuts, etc. And to me, if gold continues rallying, we're looking at 160, 170 plus by year end. If gold were to just flatline here, mean reversion alone, I think, brings Bitcoin to 150, 160. So that's how I'm looking at it, just from another perspective to sanity check all of the theses. And so far, everything looks good. It confirms what you were saying.
I think that's great. And I also think that whenever you chart Bitcoin, charting it against gold, chart it against NASDAQ, try to understand where flows have been going and what flows could revert back into BTC. I think that especially with gold ripping so much, there's reasonable amount of people, including myself, including you, that probably own both. And there has to be some level of rebalancing. I know myself, like I've been chipping away gold to rebalance into the rest of my portfolio, including BTC, because gold has just ran my gold and silver positions. I think like my silver position's up 40% in the last few months. Obviously, I'm going to rebalance that
into Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.